What's up, good peoples? Your boy kreation2020. This is the kreation2020 podcast. And for this episode, man, we talking about longevity. And a lot of like what I talk about and a lot of what I believe in is like pertaining to longevity, because I believe in like not being a failure and like pushing for the long haul. You know what I mean? Like I believe that like everybody deserve multiple opportunities, and what you do with those opportunities is what determines your outcomes. And longevity in this thing is like major, man. Like everybody in their sector that you look at, it's like intentfully only thriving on longevity. You know what I mean? Like that's why like one hit wonders guys are like always sought, because they have so much potential. And, like everybody like that one song or like that one product, and the expectancy is there, like the demand is there. Now like everybody wants more and more of the same thing, because you have like delivered and you have proven beyond expectations. The mechanics within like what it takes to be timeless isn't really something that's like sold too much. You know what I mean? Because that's the secret sauce. Like that's what motherfuckers and them will tell you. Like, yo, I got the secret sauce. That's why you need to fuck with me. Like that's why like when you go into like a JP Morgan or say like or Wells Fargo or like a Merrill Lynch, you gotta like allocate a certain amount of your time to the establishment. You know what I mean? It might not just be like hourly. It might not just be like contractual. Like when those guys have like contractual services, it's like it's allocated to the businesses and the organizations that will be able to maintain your infrastructure. You know what I mean? Like if a regular person was asked to like maintain like a corporate infrastructure, then that person like would be expected to like live up to corporate standards. And that's why singularity is important in this thing, because we all could be doing a lot more. Like you think you're doing a lot more, like you think you're doing a lot right now. I think I'm doing a lot right now as well. But I know I could do better, and I know I could be doing a lot more. And for the sake of longevity, it's in my favor, like it's in my best interest to do a lot more. You know what I mean? Because take it from me, man, like it's easy to really get lazy. Like I've gotten lazy so many times. Like right when I think that I'm like over the hill, I start to get lazy, and that shit kicks me in the ass. And that's not like a trait of like longevity. Like motherfuckers and them that I know that like live this longevity shit, they rarely get tired. Or when they get tired, they don't expose that shit. they rarely take breaks. When they take breaks, it's like paid vacation. It's like paid leaves and shit. You know what I'm saying? Like they're like always like 2-3 steps ahead of the game. Like you got to be 2-3 steps ahead of yourself just to start with. You know what I mean? Because as a person, you need like the leeway. Like you need like the leeway. Like you wake up in the morning, you don't even know what the fuck you about to have for breakfast. You gotta like make like scrambled eggs and shit. When you don't even know if there's enough scrambled eggs in the freaking fridge. You don't even know if there's enough eggs in the fridge, right? That's not really longevity. Longevity is like industrialization. It's like I'm going to McDonald's and I know that they got like a McDouble and they have a McMuffin, and I'm gonna have a McMuffin regardless of anything. And I could do that for like a very, really long time, right? That's longevity. Longevity is like, yo, I wake up today and I'm gonna like meditate for like 45 days at a time. That's longevity. Longevity isn't like some like periodical thing just to like make the shit seems pretty and then get ugly afterwards, right? That's not really longevity. I mean, seemingly that could be longevity also, but then I notice it differently. I like to think of it as like an art, because only motherfuckers and them that like might have like tried to master the art could like even remotely experience the phenomena. But it's actually not really like an act, like an art. It's more just like a state of like being. Like there are like old people that like could still like. I know this one old lady. She will run like cross country type running, like not like run the complex or like, you know what I mean, like run the track real quick or like run like 2-3 miles. She would like run like all day and shit. And she probably been doing that shit for like all her life. That's probably like one of like her pastimes and shit, right? At a time, running and like playing sports and like being active and all that stuff was like my pastime. But it like slowly became not my pastime. It became more of like a asset. And I didn't necessarily want to make it like an asset, because that's like a necessity, you know what I mean? Like you need to you need sight, you need vision, you need like air, you need breathing, you need oxygen. You know what I mean? Like you need like your hearing, you need affection. And those things aren't like anything that you could like play the short games with, you know what I mean? Like, and I really question everybody that played the short games with those things, because that affects the lasting relationship, I would say. Like that affects like the lasting relationship. Like we have to be accountable. There's a system that was working before we implemented our will. So you have to be like cautious of that. You have to be aware of that, right? And I think like staying optimal and being in like your best shape and ready to conquer like your greatest obstacles, it's like one of the best place to be. Longevity isn't sold. Like, people would tell you that like that it's sold, that like they could give you the magic bullet that you could ride on for like a really, really long time. But you have to know what works for you, for for your comfortability to work within those means. Like, if you're not there yet, or if you're above that, then whatever it is that is being presented to you, and you're not like totally receptive of that, that affects um, that affects your growth in one way or another. But as an artist, as a creative, you gotta understand the head of yourself. You gotta understand the path. You gotta understand what it takes to endure whatever it is that you're willing to put yourself through. You know what I mean? You can be willing to put yourself through hell and not understand what it takes to endure that, right? And that would leave you with some shortcomings, because everybody doesn't know what you know. Everybody doesn't apply how you apply. Everybody don't think how you would think. You know what I mean? So like your hour or your day could be like somebody's second. Or it could be like somebody's epiphany that they didn't even act on yet. You know what I mean? And I think like as like humanity, as like a people, one people, we have to strengthen each other, and we have to empower each other, put each other in the positions to be able to make better decisions. Like, it's not really like super competitional. I don't really think it's super competitional. Like, longevity isn't really super competitional. The guys at the friggin' the old people's club, they only play like bingo and like fucking bunch of boring games and shit. They're not even super duper competitional. I forget exactly how they play bingo, but then bingo isn't something that's like super competitional. The guys at the old people club, like, they're trying to like uplift each other and like deter each other from like thinking about dying and shit, because they're so fucking like old and Asian, right? But that's longevity. Like, you get to like see motherfuckers in them that like you came up with, or like that like y'all been doing this shit for like ages and shit. Like, that's longevity. Like, longevity is like, it's an art form. It's not some shit that's like of age that's just like given. Because then I know a lot of fucking Asian motherfuckers that didn't live up to anything. And longevity sees between that. You have to. Longevity is the way. You have to like state your cause and believe in it and surpass. That's pretty much the message for today. This is the Creation 2020 podcast. I'm your boy, Kreation2020. Until next time, we'll talk again. Yeah.